Hey, what's going on? It's July 8th. Let's do a patch update. So I'm here at patch 2. I'm walking you over to the 2006 wolf plant. Each week I've been just doing basic updates of progress, monitoring the plant, and showing you the pumpkin growth. But if you're a new grower and you have anything in particular that you're interested in, or something that wasn't clear if I was showing or saying something, just let me know and I'll make sure to feature it or answer questions, stuff like that. I've been growing for 4 years, so there's certainly growers that have a lot more experience than me, but I have a decent idea of what I'm doing and would be happy to help if you had additional questions. So with that, let's jump in and take a look at the 2006 wolf. Over the last week, we just came through a pretty extreme heat wave. We had 2 days back to back that were 104, actually even hit 105. And like I showed you, these little shade covers just for the tips made all the difference. It was a really big help. So a combination of the overhead water and these little shade covers on the tips made a big difference. The 2006 wolf is the plant. It's kind of the same. We really only have, I got a lot of secondaries that are starting to shut down just because the fruit's already 30 days old. And so you start to get secondaries that will bud out and stop growing. I'll show you what that looks like. But I still have a few that are growing. On this side of the plant, I've got 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 that I've got curled forward, and I'm just gonna keep marching them out here as far as I can. I really don't think in the end I'll fill the whole space, unfortunately, but I'll get as much as I can before they shut down. As an example, those are some secondaries there that are forming like a kind of bud. When you see that, that's pretty common of when they start to shut down, because they're putting all that energy into the fruit. So there's another one there that looks like it's starting to do it. So I got these 3 on this side, maybe that one, and then I think I have 4 or 5 on this side. So same situation here. I got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll just keep marching them out and get as much square footage out of the plant as I can. Here's the pumpkin. It's big and pretty. It's gonna be really, really orange. It's got a cool shape. It's kind of turned kind of blocky or sort of square shaped. I have a little bit of an issue. It's starting to grow into the vine back there. My vine management on this plant was never very good because, again, I wasn't planning on keeping this pumpkin until the main cracked on me and I had to cut it. So this probably will continue to be a challenge for moving, but I need to basically slide the pumpkin this way to just get it off the vine. This pumpkin is 34 days old and is only 306 pounds. So it's just not on a very good trajectory. However, it is gaining 30 pounds a day, so that's something. It's not great, but it's decent. So I think we'll see. It could be one of these pumpkins that has a really steady growth curve and holds the bigger numbers for a long time. But I don't think we're gonna really be hitting anything too extreme weight-wise. So that's the 2006 wolf plant. Let's go take a look at the 2560 Ginger. So the 2560 Ginger is a huge sea of green here. Again, this has 30 secondaries as opposed to the 16 secondaries before the pumpkin on that side. Luckily, I've got almost all the secondaries still actually filling out space, so all these are active. Almost none have shut down, maybe 1 or 2 up here in the front that have shut down. The shade covering on the tips work like a charm in the heat. In fact, next year I think I want to do that just as the plant's starting to mature, because I had a lot of leaf scorch early on before the plant had acclimated. Same thing on this side, still filling out. So based on the growth rate of the secondaries and the fact that this pumpkin is younger, I think I still have an opportunity to fill out a lot of this space. This pumpkin is 20 days old today, and it is, I think 70 pounds. So decent, not great. I do have another pumpkin over there, a backup, and I basically will pull that today. I'm waiting to cut it off because I've been slowly taking these foam blocks out as the pumpkin grows to bring it down onto this platform. And I think today I would like to get it all the way down onto a little bit of sand on the platform. And anytime you move a pumpkin, it's always high risk that something bad could happen. So I'm gonna hang on to that back up over there until the move is done. And then once it's completed and I didn't do any damage, then I'll go ahead and cut that off. And I think when you cut the backup off and you're just putting all your energy and resources into one pumpkin, I think it'll start to pick up speed. So of my 4 main plants, this is the plant that I think has the most potential. It's got the most secondaries behind it. It's got great genetics, of course, and it's in decent health plant-wise. So we'll see. Let's go take a look at patch 1. All right, here we are at patch 1, and we got 2 pumpkins. The 2245 Andrews is day 20 yesterday, and nothing big. I think it was around 50 pounds. And then today for the 2266 is day 20 on the, 2266 Kissamore is 20 today, and it was about 60 pounds. So neither of them are really big numbers. We went through that heat wave, and unlike at patch 2, I didn't do the shade cloth and had to just rely on the overhead water. So I did have some damage. The 2266 plant actually fared really well. The 2245, as it has all season, was much more sensitive. Back there in the corner you can see really significant damage, but the good news is the plant's still growing, so I do think we'll get the rest of the space filled out, and it won't be long, and we'll finally not be vine bearing, at least over here. We got more space to fill in patch 2, but the thing that's got me the most concerned right now is on the 2266, and this is the plant that I think is the best, so it's the one that I think has the most potential. I got the fan going, so it's kind of loud, but the area, let me turn it off, the area right there where the blossom end is, I just added a little Daconil, which is a fungicide, but right there it hasn't scarred and healed up and looks a little soft. If you look over here, you can see what you want it to look like. There's nice and scarred up. So I got the fan going, and like I said, I put a little bit of fungicide there, and I'm kind of praying. I know some people, when this happens, they'll lop them off. I've never done that, but it might be the right thing for me to do, so I might do a little research. May end up doing that. The good thing is, unlike where a lot of people grow pumpkins where there's high humidity, we have very low humidity here. So that fan will put a lot of drying effect on that wound, but something that I got to watch really closely. So this is the main patch here. I'll show you the 2 additional plants here in a sec. All right, so this is the 1548 Martin, and this pumpkin is gaining exactly 30 pounds a day right now, and is just at the 200 pound mark, I believe. And it continues to be kind of the standout of the patch, considering its small plant size. The pumpkin shape is really good. It's the same exact length as it is wide, and really no issues to complain about on the plant at all. This stuff right here is going to fill out going out in this direction. This stuff right here, same thing. So it'll be, in another week or less, it'll probably be done. It has a huge crown, probably the biggest of any, but I did see, similar to the plant that's further out in the field, did see some gopher action. So we're worried here. Right there, came out of the hole, started chewing. First year we've ever seen this kind of thing happen. So we're gonna set some traps and see if we can get him. And last but not least, I almost forgot the gopher plant, the 1469 young, although I might have to call the 1548 the gopher plant now too, because it's also under attack. But when we were checking in on this plant a week ago, I think we had pollinated 4 or 5 pumpkins. Since then, we've culled it down to just 2. So we got this guy right here. Actually, no, 3. That little guy there, I'm not 100% sure that one's taken yet. And then this guy right here. So both are about the same age. They're very young. They're very nice and symmetrical. Look like they're going to be, bright orange. And this plant, we're just kind of letting go crazy. There's tertiaries and probably 4th stage growth all over the place. This is the main still coming through here. But it's, as I mentioned before, the goal for this is not a big heavy pumpkin, but something that's really pretty, and the genetics from this pumpkin are bright and orange. So all right, I think that'll do it for this week's update.